Now, if this doesn't have you licking your screen, you must be blind. Do you want to learn how to turn this slab of raw pork belly into this delicious Filipino pork skewer? Now, if you're not sliding your moist stick into pork, that should be illegal. Oh, yeah.
Miss Piggy, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. Today, we're making some Filipino pork skewers. Cooking time for this recipe will be 20 minutes. Or for those of you who love to use my beer timer, you're looking at a 1 beer cook. Cheers. To make this recipe, we'll need some pork belly. So I went down to see Mick out of Gippsland Premium Meats and picked up this 2 kilogram piece of skinless and boneless pork belly. And pork belly is perfect for this recipe as it has a good ratio of meat to fat. And using a large sharp knife, we're just going to cut the pork belly into roughly 3 centimetre wide strips. And then spinning the strips around, we're going to now cut them into 3 centimetre cubes. Something like that. And once all cubed up, place into a plastic container, Ziploc bag, or a bowl. The choices are endless. Now, the choices aren't really endless. Don't go storing your meat in a shoe or a pot plant. Now, that would be silly, wouldn't it? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That way I know you're still awake and watching. Filipino cooking is all about the unique flavours. Now, there will be a few ingredients you're going to have to hunt down, but it is well worth it in the end. Now, just grab a bowl and into it put half a cup of banana ketchup. This is what the bottle looks like. Don't confuse it for normal ketchup. It's not the same thing. 1 cup of Sprite lemonade. 1 cup of soy sauce. Half a cup of datu puti vinegar. This is a datu puti vinegar. I have been told if you can't find it, you can use normal distilled white vinegar. 1/4 cup of oyster sauce. 2 tablespoons of chili paste. And surely you know what chili paste looks like, but this is the brand I used. 1 cup of brown sugar. 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And 1 cup of minced garlic. That's correct, 1 cup of minced garlic. If you weren't single, you're going to be after tonight. And stir this up thoroughly for a couple of minutes until that sugar is fully dissolved. And pour it all over the pork belly. And mix it in until the pork is all covered. Put the lid back on and we're going to put this in the fridge for 6 hours. And don't skimp on this. The pork belly needs those 6 hours to absorb all of that flavour. Also, don't start thinking if 6 hours is good, let's give it 12 hours. If you leave it that long, you'll bloody ruin it. Do as you're told, 6 hours is all it needs. Next up, we need to make an authentic Filipino street food style basting sauce. So just grab a small bowl and into it put half a cup of banana ketchup. Remember this? 1/4 cup of oyster sauce, like this. 1/4 cup of sesame oil, as this gives an authentic flavour. Give this a good mix up and then pop it aside until we are grilling. Flavour, flavour, flavour. It's not rocket science, but it is science. To make authentic street-styled food, I can't use my superior metal skewers. I have to use these inferior sticks of disappointment that I had to soak in water an hour ago to stop them from burning to a crisp. And after an hour, you should have a moist stick. Smut! And now you can start threading the pork onto the twigs of sadness, making the twigs all roughly the same size. Why? Because that way they cook more evenly and they'll all be finished at the same time. If you share this video, just share it with mates you only like. Today, I'm going to be using my Weber Go Anywhere, or GA as they're known, and I'm also going to be pairing it up with my 100mm riser and my Abachi grill that I picked up from Rub and Grub over in South Australia, as I want to be cooking over direct heat today. I'll remove the lid because we won't be needing that, and I'll open up the bottom vents to allow as much airflow to our fuel as possible. I'll put the riser in place, and I'll 3/4 fill the chimney starter with lumped charcoal. I'll light up a couple of firelighters and place the chimney on top of them. And then once it's fully ashed over, we can dump it into the GA. And then using an old pair of tongs, we can spread it out so we get even heat throughout the entire GA. Don't forget to carefully put the grill back in. Oops, wrong grill. And now put the hibachi grill in place and let that warm up for 5 minutes. I'm not sure anyone noticed yet, but I'm in fact not Filipino. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I just want you to know your parents are really disappointed in you. Once the grill's had time to warm up, we can place the skewers directly on the grill. Listen to that sizzle. And once all the skewers are on, we can grab that bowl of basting sauce and start brushing it onto the skewers. And then after a couple of minutes, we can start turning all of the skewers over and give them another baste. And we're just going to keep doing this until they're fully cooked. And how do we know this? By using an instant read thermometer. We need the internal temp to reach a minimum of 71 degrees Celsius. But due to the high fat content, I love to push my pork belly further. And I'm going to take the internal temp closer to 80 degrees Celsius. This is just going to help some of that fat break down a little bit more. And due to the fat content in this pork belly, I'm not worried about it drying out and not staying moist. Smut! Leave me a comment down below if you want to see more street food ideas. Ring-a-ding-ding, the pork skewers look like food bling. I mean, they're done. I mean, seriously, look at that.
Nice.
I mean, this is the stuff dreams are made of. Well, mine anyway. Now, I'm not waiting. These smell just as good as they look.